Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. I found myself alone at home. My parents were at work, and my sister was supposed to be at her friend's house. It was the perfect opportunity for me to indulge in my secret hobby, crossdressing. I had always been fascinated by women's clothing, their textures, colors, and the way they felt against my skin. I had a small collection of clothes that I had bought online, carefully hidden in my room. As I put on a green dress, I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The fabric brushed against my skin, feeling soft and smooth. I admired myself in the mirror, adjusting the dress to fit just right. I had just started to apply lipstick, carefully tracing the outline of my lips, when I heard the front door open. Panic struck me. My heart raced as I quickly tried to think of what to do, but it was too late. My sister, Sarah, walked into my room without knocking. Her eyes widened in surprise, and for a moment we both just stood there in silence. Finally, I managed to speak, my voice barely above a whisper. "Sarah, I can explain." She raised an eyebrow, looking more curious than angry. "I'm not mad, just surprised. I had no idea you liked wearing women's clothes." I felt a wave of relief, mixed with embarrassment. "Yeah, I've been doing this for a while now. I just didn't want anyone to know." Sarah sat down on my bed, her expression thoughtful. "Well, your secret's safe with me, but, if you're going to do this, you might as well do it right." Confused, I asked, "What do you mean?" She grinned. "I mean, if you're going to dress up, let me help you. I've got a whole wardrobe of clothes that might fit you, but," she added, "I want to be in charge of what you wear, the makeup, everything." I hesitated for a moment, unsure. But the idea of having access to her clothes and her help was too tempting. "Okay," I agreed. "You can be in charge." Sarah clapped her hands excitedly. "Great! Let's start with the basics. First, we need to find you a wig that suits you." We rummaged through her collection of wigs, trying on different styles and colors. We settled on a shoulder-length, curly brown wig that complemented my features. Looking in the mirror, I was amazed at how different I looked. Sarah showed me how to secure the wig properly so that it wouldn't slip off. Next, we moved on to clothes. Sarah had a variety of outfits, from casual jeans and tops to more formal dresses. We tried several combinations, with her giving me tips on what worked best for my body type. She picked out a light purple blouse and a black skirt for me. The clothes were a perfect fit, making me feel elegant and feminine. Then came the makeup. Sarah was patient, teaching me how to apply foundation, eyeshadow, and mascara. Each brushstroke transformed my face, softening my features. I was fascinated by the process, how with a few products and techniques I could look so different. As we finished, Sarah stepped back to take a look at me. "You look amazing," she said, and I could hear the sincerity in her voice. The next day, Sarah had planned a full day of trying on different clothes and practicing makeup. After breakfast, we went straight to her room, where she had laid out an array of clothes on her bed. "Today, we're going to find your style," Sarah announced with a smile. She handed me a light blue blouse and a knee-length skirt. "Try these on first." I changed into the outfit, and when I looked in the mirror, I was surprised at how different I looked. The blouse was soft and comfortable, and the skirt swished around my legs as I moved. Sarah nodded in approval and then started to teach me about makeup. "We'll start with something simple," she said, showing me how to apply foundation and a bit of blush. She carefully explained each step, and I tried my best to follow along. When we finished, I had a natural, subtle look. "Now for the hair," Sarah said, picking out a wig with short, wavy hair. It felt strange to have different hair, but I liked how it looked. Sarah showed me how to adjust it so it sat just right on my head. Throughout the day, we tried on more outfits and experimented with different makeup looks. Some clothes didn't fit quite right, but others felt like they were made for me. Sarah was patient, helping me adjust each outfit and teaching me how to walk and move more gracefully. As the afternoon turned into evening, we had one last outfit to try. Sarah handed me a floral dress and a pair of flats. The dress was beautiful, with soft, flowing fabric. I slipped it on, and it fit perfectly. Sarah added a few accessories, a necklace and a bracelet, and then stepped back to look at me. "You look amazing," she said, and I could see the pride in her eyes. I turned to the mirror and hardly recognized myself. The dress, the makeup, the wig, everything came together to create a new version of me. I felt a strange sense of happiness seeing myself like this. Sarah suggested we take some photos, so I posed while she snapped pictures with her phone. We laughed and joked around, and for a little while I forgot all about my worries and fears. Later that night, as I lay in bed, I thought about the day. It was the first time I had spent so many hours dressed as a girl, and it felt oddly right. Sarah's help had made a huge difference. She knew so much about fashion and makeup, and she was so willing to share her knowledge with me. The morning after our dress-up session, Sarah came to me with a new idea. "How would you feel about going out dressed up?" she asked. I felt a jolt of nervousness. "Outside? Like where people can see me?" The thought was both scary and exciting. Sarah nodded. "Yeah, just a short walk around the block. I'll be with you the whole time." After some hesitation, I agreed. Sarah picked out an outfit for me, a comfy, long-sleeved pink top and black leggings. She helped me with my makeup, going for a simple look, and chose a long, straight wig for me to wear. As we stepped outside, my heart was beating fast. I was acutely aware of every step I took, every move I made. The outside world felt so different now. I was no longer just a boy in his sister's clothes. I was someone new, someone different. We walked slowly, and I kept my eyes on the ground, too nervous to look around. Sarah talked to me the whole time, telling me about her day, making jokes, trying to distract me from my worries. It helped, and gradually I started to relax. Nobody seemed to notice anything unusual about us. Some people walked by without giving us a second glance. It was a relief to realize that we were just two people out for a walk, nothing more. After a while, Sarah suggested we sit on a bench in the park. It was quiet, with only a few people around. We sat there, watching the world go by, and I felt a sense of calm. It was nice being outside like this. When we returned home, I was full of mixed feelings. I had been so scared to go out, but it turned out to be not as scary as I thought. It was a small step, but it felt like a big achievement. Over the next few days, Sarah encouraged me to go out with her more. Each time, we tried a new look, a different outfit. She seemed to have an endless supply of ideas and clothes for me to try. We went to different places, the mall, a nearby cafe, a small bookstore. With each outing, I felt a bit more confident, a bit more comfortable. I started to enjoy the process of picking out clothes, deciding on a wig, doing my makeup. One day, as we sat in a cafe, sipping our drinks, Sarah said, "You know, you're really brave. Not everyone would have the courage to do what you're doing." I smiled, feeling a warm sense of pride. "Thanks, Sarah. I couldn't have done it without you." As we walked home that day, I thought about how much had changed in such a short time. I had gone from hiding in my room to walking around outside, dressed as a girl. It was a big change, but it felt right. It felt like me. A few weeks had passed since my first outing dressed as a girl. With each new day, I felt a little more confident and a little more comfortable in my new clothes. Sarah had been a great help, teaching me all about fashion and makeup. But then she had a new idea that made me really nervous. "How about going to school dressed like this?" she suggested one morning. My eyes widened in shock. School? But what if someone recognizes me? Sarah put a hand on my shoulder. "I think you're ready. You've been doing so well, and I'll be right there with you." I thought about it all day. The idea was scary, but also a little exciting. After a lot of thinking, I decided to do it. The next day, Sarah helped me get ready. She chose a simple, pretty outfit for me, a light yellow top and a pair of jeans. She did my makeup, making sure it looked natural, and picked out a wig with short brown hair. As we walked to school, my heart was pounding in my chest. I was so nervous, but Sarah kept talking to me, trying to keep me calm. When we arrived, I took a deep breath and walked through the gates. It felt like every eye was on me, but I kept my head up and walked to my first class. Throughout the day, people looked at me, some with curiosity, others with confusion. A few kids whispered and pointed, but nobody said anything mean or hurtful. It was strange being in school like this, seeing the same halls and classrooms from a different perspective. In class, I sat quietly, listening to the teacher and taking notes. Some of my classmates looked at me, trying to figure out who I was, but I just focused on my work. At lunch, Sarah and I sat together. She kept talking to me, making jokes and telling stories just like any other day. It made me feel better, less like everyone was watching me. The day went by slowly, each hour feeling longer than the last. But finally, the final bell rang, and it was time to go home. As we walked back, Sarah asked, "So, how was it?" I thought about it for a moment. "Scary, but not as bad as I thought it would be." Sarah smiled. "See, you did it. I'm so proud of you." Over the next few weeks, I started dressing like a girl more often. Not every day, but whenever I felt like it. School became a place where I could be myself, in whatever clothes I chose to wear. I realized that people's reactions weren't as important as I thought they were. After several weeks of going to school dressed as a girl, Sarah had another idea. "How about wearing a dress to our family dinner this weekend?" she asked one evening. I felt a wave of nervousness wash over me. Our family dinners were big events with our parents, grandparents, and sometimes even aunts and uncles. The thought of showing up in a dress made my stomach turn. But then I thought about how far I had come. I had faced my fears at school and in public. Maybe it was time to take the next step. "Okay," I agreed. "Let's do it." Sarah was excited. She picked out a dress for me, a pretty floral one with short sleeves. She said it was perfect for the occasion. The day of the dinner, Sarah helped me get ready. She did my makeup, chose a pair of comfortable shoes, and helped me put on the dress. I looked in the mirror and saw someone confident and happy staring back. As we drove to our grandparents' house, my heart raced. I was nervous about what everyone would say, what they would think. But Sarah reassured me, telling me everything would be fine. We walked into the house, and I braced myself for the reactions. Our parents smiled when they saw me. They had seen me dressed up before and were supportive. My grandparents looked a little surprised, but they didn't say anything negative. Throughout dinner, I was quiet, mostly listening to everyone talking and laughing. Some family members seemed a bit unsure about how to talk to me, but nobody said anything unkind. It felt good to be there, dressed as myself, surrounded by my family. After dinner, my grandmother pulled me aside. "You look very pretty tonight," she said softly. I smiled and thanked her. It meant a lot to hear those words from her. With each new day, I felt more comfortable and confident in my identity. Fast forward a couple of months, and it was the start of summer, and our family planned a vacation to a beachside town. This would be the first time I would be spending extended time in public dressed as a girl. As we prepared for the trip, Sarah helped me pack. She selected a variety of outfits: sundresses, shorts, and tops, all perfectly suited for the beach. "You'll need these," she said, handing me a pair of sunglasses and a wide-brimmed hat, "for style and sun protection." The drive to the beach town was filled with excitement and a bit of anxiety. I kept wondering how people would react to me, how I would manage a whole week dressed as a girl in a place where no one knew me. Our first day at the beach, I wore a light blue sundress that fluttered in the sea breeze. As we walked along the shore, I felt the eyes of strangers on me. Some were just curious glances, but none lingered or seemed judgmental. The sun was warm, the sand was soft under my feet, and the sound of the waves was calming. Each day, we would explore the town, visit the local shops, and enjoy meals at the quaint seaside restaurants. Sarah was always there, chatting and laughing, making me feel at ease. People we met treated me just like any other girl, and it was liberating in a way I hadn't expected. One evening, as we sat on the beach watching the sunset, Sarah turned to me. "You've come a long way," she said. "How do you feel about everything?" I looked out at the horizon and thought for a moment. "I feel happy," I said finally. "It's been scary at times, but being able to be myself, it's worth it." Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out Patreon for a lot more content and early access to YouTube videos.